We're Bison! We are impacted! We're Bison! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to TNI UK Impacted, episode 165, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, basically wherever you listen to your favourite shows. We are, of course, there. I am your host, Bison. Today, I'm joined by, of course, the one and only Joker. He's coming to us specifically from the Boyd, you can tell. And the man simply known as Steve is back, which is good to see. And we're also joined by special guest, TNI tribe member himself, the Limpster, Craig. Hello, brothers.
How you doing?
Hi, guys.
We're doing good, aren't we? Doing good. It's nice. We got a four-man booth tonight. Four-man booth.
Yeah, it's always welcome.
Always welcome. We love a four-man booth, you know, whether it be one of the boys from the US or whether it be, you know, Craig here coming all the way from the UK. Oh, that's right, the UK show. But he's here, and he's going to give us, he's here the whole show. You're here the whole show, right, Craig?
Yeah, of course.
Good. Justin Miller's just arrived.
Well,
He's saying,
connection
"Howdy,
dependent."
UK fam." There you go. Yeah, we've got Norbert as well. Is in the house, which is good to see. Simon's with us. We met Simon, didn't we, at the commentary table?
Yeah.
Craig, do you remember Simon? Mira's in the house as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like he's happy to see Steve. It seems. He says 24 days late. Apparently. Yeah. Well, that was with his Happy New Year thing, but then he hasn't seen you.
Got to keep it 24 days late.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I like it. So what we've been up to then, boys? What have you been up to, Joe?
I have been continuing on with my Rage 2 project on YouTube and recently finished my seventh map in my ongoing Doom 2 project. I'm now technically 7 maps into the first chapter, 4 maps to go till I release the demo of the entire chapter onto YouTube for everyone to see what's been done.
Jesus, I bet you're fun at parties, Joe, aren't you?
And download it and give it a go, see what they can do with it.
Steve, what about you, buddy? What have you been up to?
I've kind of sadly been going down the route of spending a lot of money because my PC decided to give up the other day. That's kind of why I'm coming at you from the phone today. So yeah, I've had a decade of my PC and it's now balls to the wall. Now time to spend some money to go and get another one up to date.
Oh
one.
Mate, yeah. Tell you what, these days some of the laptops are incredible. I gave up on I gave up on PCs a long time ago. I just stick with my laptop now. Just as good a job. Some of them are just as powerful.
Yeah, I like some people like the laptops. I'm one of those people where I like to sort of sit in my area and just kind of get on with things. I kind of can't travel from different places and get comfortable. Yeah, but some people like the laptop and travel, take their work with them. I'm kind of one of those people, like, I get distracted very easily.
I bet. Craig's happy to be here, which is good. Let's see, he's slapping it in the chat already. I did notice, and I missed it just now. I think Eric's in the house as well. Hang on. Yes, Eric's joined us as well. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier, buddy. And Norris has arrived.
Nice.
So we're starting to build up our audience now, our live audience, which is good, which is really, really good. Nice. And Craig, what have you been up to, mate? I know you're a DJ, aren't you? That's what the old Limpster UK is all about, right?
Oh, wow, yeah. And I wish, that's it. It's not. I've been at work today, and it's been tedious, put it that way. I would more than happily take my boss to a first blood match today after the way it's been today. So, but another day, another day, another dollar.
Exactly. And Bonus Baby's back. He's saying, dang, a 4-man booth. What is this, SmackDown? It could well be, I suppose. Could be a SmackDown. Anyway, and it looks
got to
like
get to an 8-man booth.
now Simon is giving you some advice there, Steve, on laptops by the looks of it. He's saying he went for a high-spec laptop a few years ago. It says mainly for space, but I had a desktop replacement, headed to power through. Cope with my YouTube stuff. So there you go. So he does a lot of YouTube stuff, Simon. So
Nice.
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And he's one of our Twitch people, actually. Comes to us on Twitch. Not many do these days. However, I did notice the other day, I think we had like 5 or 6 people on Twitch, which went on the live Twitch stream.
It's a good turnout.
Well, we don't normally get that many, do we? It's normally like Simon and maybe one other, but not many. Generally, I'm gonna look see if anyone else is in there from. No, it's just Simon at the moment. So, but there you go. Anyway, so it's been a good week for everyone. It's been good for me in the gym. I just started a brand spanking new TikTok channel, Bison by Design, where I'm letting everyone basically follow my journey and my weight training journey, my fitness and motivational stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, in the last since Christmas, I've lost about another half a stone. So I'm the weight is coming off and the muscle is piling on, which I'm happy with. But
awesome work.
I'm putting it up on my on TikTok. I'm sharing videos every day now. Hopefully, I can potentially motivate other people to start getting fit in 2024. I think it's the best way to go for me, and it's great for body and mind. It's all about everything. It's all about your whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you're not following me on TikTok yet, go and check it out. It's Bison by Design. I'm on there, and I'm going to be putting up videos and motivational stuff every day. So get involved in that. It'd be great to see my follows increase over the next couple of weeks. That'd be great. But anyway, other than that, I've not really done a massive amount apart from my normal job. So I've been doing that. So that's been all good. But anyway, guys, let's get into the news, rumors, and TNA Impact recap of the week. I love saying that. TNA Impact recap of the week. It's much better, much better than just saying Impact recap of the week. I'm liking it. We need to chant TNA, TNA, TNA. I just love it. I cannot wait for them to get back to the UK so that we can all be doing it. You know what I mean? We could all be there. TNA. We were doing it this time, but imagine doing it when it actually is a TNA ring.
Oh God, I can only imagine.
It's gonna be so much better, mate. It's gonna be so much better. I can't wait.
We'll have to have that as the soundbite. The TNA Impact recap of the week.
Exactly. We're gonna have to find it actually. What we'll have to do, we need to get the soundbite of Scott, don't we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to get the soundbite of Scott talking about TNA and it's never gonna go or whatever it is, never going away. It is, I can't remember. So it's here to stay and it's never going away. So it's all good, but let's get stuck into what we've got going on at the moment. So we got Joe Hendry food fight was back this week. Now we spoke about this last week, saying, "Oh, we haven't seen the Joe Hendry food fight, but it is back." And this week, I think later on today there'll be another one released. But as it is at the moment, the one that's on there is Vader Scott. Go and check it out. It's really good. Vader's in Glasgow, so it's actually filmed in Glasgow. I think the week before they had Mike Bailey, which was pretty good. So now we've got the wife of Mike Bailey, Vader Scott, and it's actually really good. I watched it. It's a lot of fun. Some cool stories from Joe, actually, as well as Vader. And she talks about, her love of wrestling, her love of commentary, broadcasting, and how she, managed to transition one to the other, and how some shows she does both. She wrestles and commentates. I mean, how crazy is that? So, really, really good stuff. Right, what's Mir saying? Negative Mir to have TNA needs to get away from the access as soon as possible. Okay, buddy. We'll talk about that in a bit. We've got the TNA family with Terrence Sullivan, TNI family. Keith Goldman's joined us. Oh my God, they're all flying in now, which is great to see. Right, okay. So if you haven't seen the food fight yet from this week, which is Vader Scott, go and check it out. It should be good. And also, so the next thing to talk about, Orlando tapings, man, they looked absolutely great on the socials. The attendance pictures looked really good. It didn't look like the place was absolutely rammed, but there was a damn good attendance, which is good to see. Lots of people posting pictures with regards to that. Luckily, no spoilers. I've not caught any real spoilers or anything like that. But did you get to see any of that stuff on the socials, Joe? I know that you're on there a lot.
I've not seen anything. No, I've been keeping away from Twitter, mostly just checking up what the TNA stars and that what to say about everything. So I've been keeping away from any fan interactions and all that.
Yeah, we do try hard to stay away from stuff like that. Did you see the pictures, Craig, of the Orlando tapings?
I gotta be honest. Like I purposely got rid of Twitter. I don't want to see the spoilers and stuff. It's
that's cool.
It is pretty difficult. It's like, you know, it's kind of like a two-way thing, because like I don't want to see the spoilers, but it's great that they're there, if you know what I mean, because people are sharing it and they want you to see it. But I'm happy to wait. I try to avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I get that definitely. And I don't know about you, Steve, because I know that you're working hard at the moment. You don't get a lot of time. But did you see any of this stuff? I mean, I don't care about spoilers. I stay away from the spoilers. If I see anything that looks like it's going to tell me information on matches, I avoid it. But I do like when they puts pictures up of what the arenas looks like, and the crowd going mad, and little clips of people shouting TNA. I love it. That sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great to kind of scroll through like Twitter and everything, and you're seeing a lot more positivity on TNA. Like even posts just generally about like, oh, what do we think about what this wrestler's going to do? What do we think about what this, the next step on what this company's going to do? And you're seeing so much more positivity on TNA now. And it's just great to see in general.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It looks like Cute Pup's back again.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks in a row, Cute Pup. What's going on? Barry's saying he's got a spoiler. It's the best wrestling show of the week. There you go. There's a spoiler for you.
Yeah.
Straight away. I happen to agree that I haven't agreed with that spoiler. Okay. So it is good, definitely good to see all the the positivity. I think is the most important part of it at the moment.
Yeah.
Positivity.
And I think if you want to avoid the spoilers, deep down you can. It's curiosity that often gets the better of you.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it is a bit like that sometimes. And I guess for Craig's point of view, by the sound of it, he's trying to safeguard himself, his own curiosity by not being on there. Fine. Okay, so let's get into last week's Impact. Now, last week's Impact opened up with an incredible X Division scramble match. I quite like they call them the scramble. I like that, scramble match.
Yeah.
Kushida versus Trey Miguel versus Laredo Kid versus Mike Bailey versus Vikingo again. I mean, come on. Versus Jake something. Now, this was an incredible match, right? From top to bottom, there was some incredible stuff going on. Vikingo is just out of this world. Kushida's incredible. And I have to be honest, I thought that Kushida was going to win this. Now, because now they've signed him, I thought, is he going to finally get that push? With a title. But absolute shock, Jake something comes out with a win. Now, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, Jake's going to get the push. They're going to put a belt on him. It's going to be the X Division title. I think they're going to push him, and he's the man that's going to dethrone Chris Sabin. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see it coming. It's going to be him, or it was going to be him, or Kushida in my eyes. One of those two are the most likely ones to go for the X Division title next. But Jake something's the perfect fit because he breaks the mold of everyone's sort of expecting it to be high flyers and that. And throughout the match, Hannafin and Ray were saying, it's about no limits. It's about doesn't matter what size you are. And Jake something, the way he was taking everybody on, especially Vikingo and Kushida, like daring them to try and take him down throughout the entire match. You could see that Jake something was getting put over by everybody.
Yeah, he was. He was getting put over by everyone. I mean, what did you think of this match, Craig?
Well, to be fair, like I am a big fan of Jake something, but I was just about to say, can I make a real wild statement about it? I personally think Joe's right. I reckon he should get the X Division title, but I personally see him doing cashing it in for option C
Yeah.
because he had that push before. For whatever reason, I don't know if it was to do with his girlfriend or anything, but he went off to AEW, sat on Tony's shelf for a little bit, and then came back to us. But it seems like he's got that good rapport with Scott and stuff, and I really do think that he's the guy to put the X Division back on the map, and I reckon he should keep it and go for option C if he gets it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's not fact. I've not got inside information, but I'm just saying that's what I reckon should happen if he got the title.
Yeah, I think Jake is an incredible talent, and I mean, one of my favorite moments of Hard to Kill was when he comes in that extra Ultimate X match when he comes running down the ramp and literally launches himself over the top rope into the ring. I'm like, Jesus Christ! So yeah, the dude is incredible. He is. If you think logically, he's kind of like a taller version of Brian Cage in the sense that he's a big man, he's muscular, he's strong, he's fast, incredibly agile for a guy of his size. So he fits the X Division actually perfectly. He is. At the end of the day, it's not about weight limit; it's about no limits. This guy, has got the full package to be a great X Division champion. So I'm rooting for Jake, and I really think he's got this one. He's going to dethrone Chris Sabin. That's my prediction. It looks like I think we're all on the same page with that one as well. But Jake is incredible, absolutely incredible. Cute pup saying something. He's it looks like everybody's loving Jake something at the moment, which is great to see. So now, then there's been so much speculation on where Okada will land. Now, at the moment, it looks like WWE are looking favourites at the moment. Now, what are your thoughts on this situation? Because I still think, I don't know why. I mean, I've thought it for a while. Like the way that, from a couple of clips that I saw at the end of the match that he's going to have this week, he comes into the ring and he kisses the TNA thing on the ring, and I got a funny feeling he's already done deal. I think Okada's coming to TNA. I really do. I honestly believe he's coming to TNA, but the rumors are it's obviously between because it would, wouldn't it? Because at the end of the day, the two big companies, AEW or WWE, no one else has got a hope in hell apparently. So, but I just think the big shock will be that Okada lands at TNA. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, like you say, it's always going to be between WWE and AEW because no one else ever gets a look in. WWE snatching Okada up, it would be an interesting one because again, I don't know how good his English is. So you feel if he's going to go to WWE, he would probably have to be put with some kind of manager, which would then kind of devalue him slightly. So that's kind of an intriguing situation. Obviously, TK would just throw the money at him and he would be put in some kind of storyline. But yeah, the kind of the situation he is in currently with coming back into TNA and, the relationship he's now built up with DeMore and the roster, you feel like they do have a good chance. One other point I would also throw out, and this is a worrying sign, it doesn't look good for New Japan. They've lost Ospreay. They've now lost Okada. They're in a worrying situation right now.
Maybe, but they have got some incredible talents coming through, and they've still
they've
retained some big ones. You have to remember that the likes of Ospreay, the likes of Okada, although they are big stars. At the end of the day, New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan especially is such a huge promotion that
it is.
They've got stars in abundance coming through.
But you feel like you need that balance of young talent with experience as well. Like,
of course.
To me, this Okada leaving New Japan feels like when AJ left TNA.
Oh, did you have to say that?
You had to mention that one, didn't you? Christ.
Yeah, but it just
But-
feels like that kind of, what New Japan are losing.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm just gonna address this one. Hi, Gabriel. By the way, nice to see you. I'm not trying to get anybody's hopes up, in any way, shape, or form. I just have a feeling that they are gearing up to sign somebody fairly big at the moment. Now, everyone's thinking Nic Nemeth, that was about as big as we're going to get, right? But I don't think it is. I think he's the stepping stone. He was a big enough talent to make a splash at Hard to Kill, but they are still looking at other people, and there's still people coming in. So let's just wait it out. We've been TNA Impact fans for a long time, and we're used to the waiting game.
Yeah, and again, it's intriguing what the Guns said about how the history they've got with Okada. So I agree with you. I don't think it's off the table.
I don't think it's off the table at all. So I'm gonna hold out a little bit of hope that you never know. But I mean, but I'm not gonna be like surprised if he ends up at AEW, WWE. I'm really not. But
No.
And I'm not saying that people are wrong. I'm just saying people have literally already ruled out that TNA could sign him, and all they got the money. TKO got the money, and Tony Khan's got the money, and all the rest of it. But actually, so have TNA. Hence why it's already been reported they offered 7 figures to Wil Ospreay. They probably, and recently there was stuff when they came out that that Punk was also very, very close to signing with TNA. Now they would have been offering him 7 figures as well. So you can't, at the end of the day, the money would have been there. So I don't think money is an issue at the moment. I'll talk about it now because I put it later on to talk about. But the one thing which is holding TNA back in terms of people wanting to sign them is exposure. So yes, we've got great exposure worldwide. We've got great exposure, on streaming services, on YouTube, other apps and stuff like that. But at the moment, the TV deal in the US is holding them back. And it makes a big difference to when someone signs with a company, I think, because, they go, right, well, if I sign with AEW, I'm going to be on a big network. If I sign with WWE, I'm going to be on a huge network and potentially on Netflix in a year's time. I'm going to be in the maximum amount of exposure I can get, like in America and worldwide, right? Whereas at the moment, TNA is on Access TV, which, this week, they got 112,000 viewers, but which is great, and it's the best viewership they've had since October, because it's the first like proper fresh content show. So it's the best ratings they've had, but it doesn't help that the reach of that channel is so low, So I think, once there's the possibility, because it's been talked about. I mean,
Santino Morales talked about it in an interview, saying that it's a prospect that Scott DeMore is looking into. It's like the next big step, and once that's been opened, then the world's their oyster. Basically,
I've got it here. I put, our TNA going for a big TV deal. Santino Morelli talking on Busted Open seems to think so. He thinks that the only thing left now to sort out for TNA is a big TV deal, which then the sky's the limit. And I kind of agree with that now. I think it's the one thing that's now holding them back is that TV exposure. And I think it makes a difference to whether someone decides to sign also. You know what I mean?
Disgusting!
That's disgusting!
I was not prepared for that. I've just jumped out my skin.
I don't know. What do you think on this, Craig? I mean, you've seen, the way things have been going. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, so as great as it would be to have like, TNA on like terrestrial TV, especially in the UK and stuff like that, I think like I'm probably going to go against the grain here. I think that they're better off. I think that Scott DeMore has always been ahead with it. We had our own app where like Impact Plus, which is now TNA Plus. We've been on YouTube Insiders. We've been readily available. Like if I want to watch Impact, then I can cast it from my phone. Like, you know, we're on YouTube right now. Do you know what I mean? You can cast it to your console, you can watch it on your phone, you can cast it to your friend's Sky TV and stuff like that, where your friend might not have the channel that it's on. So I find that maybe over here for UK fans, a TV channel would be more restrictive, whereas in the US they are all about ratings and blah blah blah. I get that, you know, I do, and I respect that, but I think that they might hinder themselves by affiliating with a channel. You know, like, dare I say, I'm not going to go like hating too much on AEW, but what are they on? ITV4? Like,
Yeah.
that's, if I was to watch AEW, you know, if I was to watch it, then I would go on ITV4 and skip through it because I don't want to watch the adverts, or I would seek it out online where I don't have any adverts and you just watch the whole thing all the way through. If anything, you can watch more of it. So I think that, like, a TV channel might actually hinder us. I think that with our fan base, I think being online and stuff like that, we are a lot more direct. So our fans want to see us and our fans get to see us. Do you know what I mean? We're not just, you know, in between reruns of Corrie and like the ITV News or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. I get what you're saying there, but I think the problem that you've got is in the US, they still live in the Stone Age, and everything has to be on a TV network, or it sucks. They have to have, you know, 1 million ratings, or it sucks. It must be shit because nobody's watching it. That's not the case. And
one thing as well that you've got to think of is they need to get onto the correct network, because obviously what they're doing at the moment is everything that they're putting on the TV is basically they're working with their own TV provider, so they can basically do whatever they want. Whereas obviously, like, you take the promo that Scott
but they're also limiting revenue, aren't they?
But obviously they don't have any have any handcuffs on them because they can do what they want. Whereas obviously you take what the promo Scott cut at the end of last week's Impact. If he'd have cut that on a TV channel where they'd have said, "No, we don't want you cutting that. You have to water that down." You know, it would have. They have to kind of abide by. The TV.
But you have to. Yeah, but AEW is not governed by what they say. They clearly swear and do all sorts on there because they.
But again, it's a case of finding the correct network that they want to work with, and it's going to abide by, you know, work correctly. You know, if they find the
way that they want their show to be.
Exactly, you know, not work like, again, they were on Spike TV over here, but not 5-star for years, and you never knew what time they were going to be on. You know, they you know, it's a case of working out what works with them.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem with most things. You know, again, if you're going to set out a TV deal with a network, you know, if it's going to work, then you need to have clause in there that says, look, we're on the same time, same channel, same time every week, you know, same day, unless obviously, you know, a special circumstance or whatever. But you know, generally 99% of the time, same day, same time every week. We're TV 14. We're not PG. If you don't like that, tough shit. You know, we don't sign the deal. And you know, you have to think about. Because the thing is, right, if they start doing Explosion, for instance, there's no reason why they couldn't put Explosion on Access TV, right? And then put that online as well, so people can access it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe put it on TNA Plus, YouTube Insiders, or whatever. You know, they can still do all of that at the same time. So they've got all the accesses. They've got everything covered. You know what I mean? They've got absolutely everything covered. But I think they definitely 100% need to be on a more exposed channel. The main show does. Impact, TNA Impact needs to be on a more exposed channel for them to get into those homes, for people to start to respect them again, pick up old fans, pick up casuals, pick up the new fans. Because at the moment, you know, I get what you're saying, Craig, with sort of kind of like the fan base as it is, but that's not, you know, they've got the fan base. We're there, we're watching it. It's where they need the next group. They need the casuals. They need to bring the older fans back again. They need to bring more fans to the product.
Right. Yeah.
Because
they can always fall back onto Access as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that is the other thing, you know, if it all goes tits up, well, they've got a channel. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not the end of the world. And they could potentially show replays on Access. So you could still, for instance, I don't know, Impact could go out, you know, exclusively on a Thursday night on, I don't know, USA. I don't know who's in the running, but I know USA was mentioned, right? Go out on USA at the time specified, and then, you know, the day after, the rerun could happen on Access TV. You know, so there, or, you know, on a Saturday night you can get the rerun. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's always options for them still to use the content. Either way, they could still use it if they get it written into the contract. But that's how it's the only way TNA is going to make more money. They have to get on something bigger. They need to get more people viewing it, and more people to view it, the more merchandise they sell, the more tickets they sell to the shows, the bigger venues they go to, the bigger stars they can attract.
Yeah.
Simple. It's just simple economics. So hopefully, you know, maybe that will happen. We'll just have to see. And I know it's the one thing that they feel, I guess, is holding them back at the moment.
Yeah, well, they are slowly starting to branch into more international TV broadcasting, aren't they? So the stepping stones are there.
Yeah, they got loads. I mean, they're available in something like 136 countries around the world.
Yeah.
There's only one other promotion that beats that, and that's WWE.
Yeah.
AEW doesn't even come close. So, you know, in that respect, the only place they're really big is the US, and of course, at the moment, as it stands, they've got a lot of the old TNA fan base watching them in the UK.
Yeah.
But once we get bigger and more exposure, trust me, the TNA fans will come back.
Yeah.
You know, we've already seen that there's a lot of love for it in the UK. You know, we just got to push it even more and start to really show what we're about, and they'll come back. They will come back. But anyway, backstage on Impact last week, Gia Miller interviews Wil Ospreay, and he vows to defeat Josh Alexander once again, of course, in their rematch. And you know he meant it, bruv. That's for sure.
Bruv.
Yeah. I actually think a lot of people say that Wil Ospreay is not great at promo. I think he's really good. I think the issue here is that people struggle with his accent and his delivery a little bit because they, like, to me, he sounds authentic, you know, authentic Londoner.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or an authentic Essex boy or whatever you want to call it. He sounds great. You know what I mean? I don't think
the issue, like I say, is it's so different to every accent that he's around. That's why it sounds so false, because it's so different to every other American accent. Oh, that's what I mean.
How he speaks.
It's natural, but it sounds false because it's so different to everyone else he's around. That's
Definitely. But I thought it was a good promo. Will again putting TNA over, which I loved, and it's going to be great. He was like, well, if Josh is got to be the man, he needs to stand up and beat the world beater and all that kind of stuff. I loved it. I'm all down for that. I thought it was really good. Now, the overall look of the new TNA Impact show with much better lighting, HD picture quality. It seems much better production in the backstage moments as well. And did you notice when they sort of kind of flip from the arena, or sorry, I call it the arena, but you know, the wrestling ring to the backstage? Did you see that sort of kind of overlay thing?
Yes.
Like TNA Impact in white, sort of kind of overlay thing that they had. I thought that was really cool. What were your thoughts on the actual overall look of the new show? Let's go with Joe. I'm not supposed to Joe for a bit.
You could definitely see where all the money's been going into since October. They said they would improve all the production, they would improve the picture quality and the graphics and everything, and that's exactly what's happened. If compare that to anything from December, it's like it is literally a completely new show altogether. They've redone everything. It's not just been a bit of tape here, a bit of tape there, and then a fresh coat of paint. They've literally done the whole thing out from top to bottom.
Now, there's been a little bit of controversy. I mean, some people are like, don't like the yellow ropes. I personally think they look great, especially with the backdrop, with the, you know, when the TNA logo goes up and it's, you know, you've got all that red background, you've got the TNA logo, it's got yellow in it, and then you see the ring with the yellow ropes. I think it looks great. It makes the show look different.
So nice just to get a different color than just red everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. No, I think it looks really good. Do you like it, Craig?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When it started up and everything, it all started. Even just the production of having people come out with that big screen, almost dare I say it, like a Titantron, and then the star walking across it and stuff like that. Well, first I saw of it was the pre-show with Swan against Maclin, which, let's be honest, that should have been on the main show. That was a hell of a match, I thought.
Yeah.
But everything
However,
coming
the
out.
prestige of being the very first TNA match.
Yes, very true, very true. But with like how it's all laid out and stuff like that, and like you say, the lighting, everything down to the camera work, I was just like, everything just seems to have been stepped up a gear, and it's just flowing so much better. We're not getting like that wobbly transition where the cameraman's trying to get into position again and stand on the side. It's just everything, camera 1, camera 4, camera 2, boom, boom, boom. And that's kind of like, I tell you what, that's something that I whinged about on those Survey Monkey surveys that they used to put out. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
So back in like 2019 or before COVID, I was like, you need to sort out your camera work. You need to sort out this. And like, part of me feels like they've finally gone through it all and gone, do you know what? These UK fans are right. We need to sort it out. But it just feels more like they actually care about the viewers, and they want us to have the best experience that we have. And I can't praise it anymore, to be fair.
I think it's looking great. I love it, and I believe the yellow ropes, Barry, are a permanent thing now. From what I saw at the pictures from the second tapings, they were yellow. So I think it's the yellow ropes are the thing now. We may see them obviously change on pay-per-views. They may change.
Slammiversary will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do with that? No, they'll probably stick with the yellow for that. But you know what I mean? I don't know. But the other thing as well, many news outlets have been reporting that Trinity said goodbye to TNA in Florida. But I actually saw that speech, and the speech I saw, she never said anything of the sort. All she did was thank the hometown crowd for coming out to support TNA, and she wanted them to all remember her as Trinity TNA. Not once did she actually clarify she was leaving the promotion. She's then since been promoting TNA like crazy on the socials, even having some fun with Nic Nemeth and all sorts. So I'm not so sure she's gone. I mean, I don't know. I got a funny feeling she might be gone, go off and do the Rumble, and then all of a sudden come back. I don't know.
Mickey James did it.
I just don't know whether she's gone or not. Because like you said, that definitely there was no actual "I'm gone, I'm leaving, I'm goodbye." There was none of that at all. I don't know. And then Gail Kim called her out on social media, saying that she can't leave yet because she's not had a match with her.
Yeah,
I thought that was brilliant. Well, I saw the Trinity speech too. Now, like you said, it didn't seem like a goodbye speech. It was more like getting the
thank you,
engaging with the crowd.
Yeah, she's
like
from Florida. It's her home crowd.
Yeah. It's like when Scott DeMore came out and spoke to the crowd. Wil Ospreay came out and spoke to the crowd. Quite a lot of post-show, a lot of the wrestlers did come out and speak to the audience. In Canada and in Florida.
They did it at Turning Point. At the end of the show, Wil Ospreay came out, and thanked everybody for coming. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's just one of those things that they do at these sort of kind of like, when they go to the hometown or whatever, or, I mean, obviously Will was just a UK talent. He's from Essex, but, to him, it's a UK show. So, and they're an American promotion. So he's thanking the UK guys for coming out. It makes sense. So I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm just not so sure. I have a feeling she's re-signed.
Yeah, I mean, initial thought is like say she is departing because she loses the title, then they get the rematch done the week after. It's a case of okay, we need to get this out the way, but who's to say how long she'll be gone for? It could be it could be a Jordan Grace thing, but
what if the whole thing was just to get her off TV, to go over, go and do the Royal Rumble or something, the female Royal Rumble, and then all of a sudden, a month or so down the line, Trinity comes home. I don't know. I just not sure.
I mean, even if she does leave, she's been a great ambassador for the Knockouts division. She's really put the company on her shoulders.
I agree.
And
totally. Yeah.
I mean, if she does come back, though, could you imagine the complete top of the WWE fans who get themselves in? Oh, she's returned. Oh, she's back, gone again.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, but Mira's telling me I need to get over it. Apparently, I need to get over. She's gone. I need to get over it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'd all have to get over Trinity.
To be honest with you, mate, I'm more, I'm more not over the fact that Deanna's gone yet. But there you go. So
that's an odd
it's
one.
also been released now, though, that TNA's returning to New Orleans. They're going to be at the Alario Center, which I think we went there before, so that was about 2 years ago. Tickets are now on sale, so if you're listening to the show and you're from New Orleans, get your ass down to the Alario Center for TNA. Get those tickets bought. We need to see a nice big TNA crowd there, so get involved in that. So it's good to see that they're releasing, all the different places that they're going to be going to, which is good. Now, meanwhile, on TNA Impact this past week, we get a vignette from Ash by Elegance, now stating that she's undeniable, she's irresistible, she's unforgettable. Ash by Elegance has arrived in TNA Wrestling. Now, whatever your thoughts are on Dana Brooks and how she was portrayed on WWE, which by all accounts was not, she didn't have the best run there. I'm of the same opinion of Deonna Purrazzo didn't have the best run in WWE either. And she came here and was an absolute badass, and now one of my favorite female wrestlers of all time. I think sometimes it's just a case of these people need to be given an opportunity to shine. And, and I still firmly believe, and I said this last week, that I don't believe that Gail Kim or Scott DeMore would book or would sign. And I mean, sign, she's officially signed.
Yeah.
This is not just bring her in for 6 months. She's signed, right? To the Knockouts roster if they didn't believe she had what it takes to be a TNA knockout. Which means not only do they need to look good, they also need to be able to promo, and they also need to be able to go in the ring. If they can't go in the ring, they're not going to sign her. So I'm saying wait and see. Let's see what she does, because I think she's gonna surprise everybody. What do you think, Craig?
I've got to be honest. I'm probably the worst person to ask about it because I don't know who she was in WWE. I don't know who she. Honest, I haven't got a clue. That the other night, that was the first I've seen of her. My friend said she's a budget Tony Storm, and I said I don't know who that is either. But I'm totally with you in the sense that if we've signed her. We've seen what they've done with Gut Check. We've seen what they've done with other guys and stuff like that. It's not like you just walk through the door and they go, "Oh, yeah, sign with us." So she's got to be the whole deal. She's got to be something really special. But yeah, I didn't know her as Dana, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she is as Ash by Elegance. To be fair,
All right. What have you got? What were you going to say, Joe?
I watched her interview she did on with Bully Ray on his radio thing, the thing he does with Tommy Dreamer, the radio show. She did an interview on there. She talked about her time at WWE and her wrestling. She's got a background in gymnastics, a background in bodybuilding, and she's got a background in amateur wrestling. She went with WWE for about 10 years or so, and she's one of those people who had loads of ideas of what to do to make the matches more interesting, which everyone agreed with except for people at top. So she's someone that's got a lot of creativity, and she's come to TNA to be herself rather than be a character. So she's
Mary, you're right. She has trained with Gangrel. You're correct. I don't know whether he's a permanent trainer, but I know that she's definitely trained with him. Yeah.
So listening to that interview, I was just like, well, I cannot wait to see what she's going to be bringing, because I like Craig, I didn't know who. I heard of Dana Brooke, but I didn't know what she'd done in WWE, or anything like that. But as soon as I listened to that interview she did with Bully Ray, I was just like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, she's going to be good. She could talk as well. Good. She's definitely talk. So that's good. Norris, Camille. Now, you think that she would have made a bigger impact on a debut? Maybe. But then, who watches NWA? So what would have why would that have made much more of an impact? I'm a fan of Camille, don't get me wrong, but nobody watches NWA. So how would she have made a bigger impact than someone from the E? I don't get that, but never mind. She's a great wrestler. I love her, and I'd love her to be a knockout. I don't see how she would make a bigger impact though. So backstage on Impact, Gisele Shaw gives a promo on winning the Ultimate X at Hard to Kill. She's obviously gunning for that Knockouts title. It's going to be her year, etc., etc. And TNAmerch.com have been promoting T-shirts and lots of other merch as well. And some of them look absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love the new Steve Maclin shirt. That's been great. They've done another promo for the Motor City Machineguns shirt recently, and loads of obviously We Are Wrestling and Cross the Line and all that. Oh, there's a big shout out to the Cross the Line as the new theme show music again, which is great. So loads of great merch available. Head over TNAmerch.com, get yourself some stuff. You know what I mean? Get yourself some stuff. These are the things that we can do as fans to get some revenue, to sign these bigger stars if that's what you want. Get some better production, all that kind of stuff. Let's get buying some merch, guys, and make sure that when we turn up to the shows, we are TNA'd up.
Don't even start me on the Euro store.
That's gone,
oh
mate.
My God. Oh,
that's
thank
gone.
God for that. There is a God.
Yeah.
It's just that was the worst thing ever, and just
It was no point in it, was there?
The Euro shirt is gone. It's gone. You know the Impact shirts, at the Impact Wrestling UK shirts.
Yeah.
With the Union Jacks on, that all came from the Euro store. They were just selling their stock off.
But when he had the UK shows, it was basically just the Euro store merch.
It was whatever they had. That's what they sold. They were just trying to get rid of it all, which is great. But I'll tell you what else I want to talk about. Talking about like the merch and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about how awesome the new graphics team are. I am loving what they are doing with these graphics. I mean, the ones for last week were great. The ones for this week are even better. And I have to say, what they're doing with Sam LaTurna backstage on the socials too is really good. She did an interview with Kaz, and she spoke to a few other people and stuff. She did like backstage exclusive stuff with talking about Explosion. So I think they've got Sam in to do all that backstage stuff on the socials. I think it's a really good idea, and I like it a lot. What are your thoughts then? Let's go with Steve. You've not spoken to Steve for a bit.
Yeah, like you say, it's looking a lot more crisper, and the color dynamics they're adding and giving it that extra bite to it, and just making everything stand out. And it's just making it take that next step up, isn't it? That's all it's doing. It just needed something to make it look a bit more refreshing. That's all.
I think so, and everything's crystal clear as well.
Yeah,
like bright, crystal clear. It jumps out at you.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of them are even better than my graphics, which is saying a lot. But it's all good stuff. I am actually joking there, guys. Right? Just before you think I'm being big-headed. But then we go. Go on, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, they're alternating like the match graphics by putting like the competitors and then their faces behind. It's just little touches like that.
Yeah, I like the one that they did for the rematch for Trinity and Jordan this week, where they're right there across the bottom. They're quite small, and then they got big faces. That looks really cool.
It's things you don't realize you needed until they've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Norbert's saying that the backstage lighting needs to improve a little bit. Maybe I didn't have an issue with it, but maybe it could be a bit brighter.
But like I say, we're only like 3-4 weeks in, so then they'll sort of maybe add it and touch it up as they go.
Of course they will, because they'll see stuff and they go, "Oh yeah, maybe we need to do this or whatever." I think so. Now, Xia Brookside gets her first win as a TNA knockout against former Knockouts champion and tag team champion as well, Tasha Steelz. After what I have to say, I thought was a really, really good match. I was surprised Tasha lost, but it seems like they're sort of kind of in a bit of a feud now. So I'm sure we're going to see Tasha win one, or who knows? We may get like a best of 3 or a best of 5 thing going on or something. Anyway, either way, It's good to see Xia, getting a first win as an actual knockout, and it was a really good match and proved again they don't sign people unless they can go in the ring. I'm a big fan of Xia anyway. She's young, she's exciting, beautiful, got a massive career ahead of her. You a fan of Xia, Craig?
I gotta be honest.
Another one you
seen
don't
a
know?
couple of. No, I did see a couple of UK matches and that a while ago and that. But to see her in TNA, I was just like, she's gonna get eaten alive by Tasha, because we know that Tasha can go, and I'm a big fan of Tasha. So to see Tasha lose, I was like, oh, okay. But I think Tasha has definitely put Xia over, but she didn't really need to do much work to do that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I think Zaya's going to hold her own. And I think, again, with this other, this Dana Ash by Elegance lady that you speak of, I think Zaya's in good hands, and I think that she'll flourish in TNA if she sticks to it and does what we want her to do.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Now, we then get backstage promo from Joe Hendry on AJ Francis and DJ Woo Kid. Now, the question here is, are we down with this feud? Is Joe going to basically get his revenge on AJ Francis after what
I think
went down?
you need to ask, do you believe?
Well, I believe.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Believe in Joe. So yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. The rumor. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously they're taking a piss out of the fact that he had a few issues with his in-ring work at WWE. So I think we're probably going to find out they're going to have a match, and he's going to be an absolute badass. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
That's the best way to take it, though.
Exactly. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Eric loves to see Hendry versus AJ battle at the Music Man in TNA. You're right. It's all good fun. Now, going back to something that Norbert just mentioned, we get the Grizzled Young Vets versus TNA Vets, Kaz and EY. This again was an incredible match. I love this match. So incredible. Good. Of course, GYB get the win, the Scousers. However, after the match, Frankie turns on EY and basically gives him a clothesline from hell. Not happy with the fact that obviously they lost the match. It's supposed to be Kaz's year. You hear him shouting, "It's supposed to be my year." But obviously EY's let him down in that sense. Yeah, cool. That clothesline to take out EY was immense. But interesting turn of events there, turning Frankie heel, I guess. But the Grizzled Young Vets put on a hell of a show. And I'd like to point out that those guys have been putting TNA over ever since they were announced. And they're still doing it now. And they're now added to the roster page. Now, I don't know whether they're signed as such or whether they've been kind of signed to a pay per appearance deal type thing, which they seem to do a lot of. But I don't care. We're going to get to see more of them. That's a good thing for me. What do you think on that one, Joe?
The match was incredible, and when Frankie knocked Eric Young after the match, I jumped out my seat. I did not see that coming at all. But then it's the way to write Eric Young off, because he's going to be away touring the UK and that now. But
that's true.
My God, I did not see Frankie Kazarian just take him out like that. That was just insane. The force behind that clothesline.
Oh my God,
Eric Young sold that brilliantly, and then he hits something then with the
Fade to Black.
Yeah, Fade to Black. I know he said Widow's Peak for some reason. He hits him with Fade. That looked painful too. I mean, I've not seen Kazarian do that to people that often recently. That looked painful seeing that again. God, it's been a while. So Eric Young's out for a couple of weeks and a couple of months, but I think he'll be back.
Yeah, definitely.
But to turn Frankie heel now, I was expecting that further down the line.
Definitely. Now, meanwhile, Moose, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and of course Alicia Edwards are known as the System and are now celebrating Moose dethroning Alex Shelley to become TNA World Champion at Hard to Kill. Edwards says that no one can beat the System, and not even Nic Nemeth. Now, again, we're going to, we're using the Vegas backdrop. They're off, it looks like they're in the restaurant of the Palms, celebrating their win. And I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's interesting. Are we trusting the system? That's what I need to know. Are we trusting the system? What do you think, Steve?
I definitely think that there's a good chance that come at least Rebellion, we could see Myers and Eddie with the tag titles. Alicia could be challenger for the knockouts. I'd love to see them have like a young up and coming talent with them, like a sort of an Angels, like a complete Rottweiler that they have to kind of keep on their leash to kind of sort of say, look, this is how you need to kind of grow and sort of be under the system kind of thing. I'd love to have them to sort of go into the X division or something, have that like fifth member. I'd love to kind of have like that young up and coming one. But yeah, I think that they have a really good kind of group to kind of be at the top of the card right there.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm all for that. What about you, Joe? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought since their introduction at Hard to Kill, that they've been fantastic. But I could see if they could get someone in like Seaford as a fifth member, I'd love to see them all go just have each part of the of TNA go to the system at some point. That was something that I had sort in my head. If they could get a fifth guy in, or even if it's just Moose with the world title, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers with the tag titles, and Alicia Edwards with the knockouts title, and then like do sort of like what Bobby Lashley did when he had all the belts basically, and hold the company company to ransom. And when Maria Kanellis took over the knockouts division. So something like that. But the system has been a faction that we have not seen in TNA for ages. I've not seen a faction with like give me such a huge shock value and thinking, oh my God, this is going to be fucking brilliant. Even when we had Violent by Design or Decay, the original Decay come in, my feeling about the system compared to them is different. It's like if I was an old school TNA fan and I saw the Main Event Mafia, I'd probably the rest of it. But for me, it's like a new version of the Main Event Mafia for me, and I've not really seen much of the Main Event Mafia, so it's probably a bad comparison for me in general to put across.
I have to say, I think for the system to work fully, I think it needs a proper mouthpiece. Not being funny, but Moose is all right on the line.
I think Myers is a great mouthpiece.
Myers isn't too bad, but it almost needs a Paul Heyman type person.
I know who the fifth guy is. I know who it is.
It's me.
So, well, close. I'm not saying close now.
It's Tommy Dreamer, isn't it?
No, just as bad. No, no. When we were at the Coventry show, at the end, I loitered around for a bit, and they were inseparable. You had Moose, you had Eddie Edwards, you had Brian Myers, and Grado. I reckon Grado's going to be he's going to be in the system. You watch. Grado will make a comeback, and he'll be in the system.
He's going to be.
It's yourself.
Oh my God! I don't know about that one. Hey, Courtney, welcome.
Howdy, Courtney.
That is one of the good things. It's like the system. They all have a good reason for being in that group. So you kind of want someone who is going to have a good reason for being in it. But yeah, it's
Grado needs a paycheck.
Grado needs a paycheck. I don't know. Does he though? Does he? I mean, he's doing all right on TV and stuff.
He's minted. He's minted.
I do like the name The System though, because as good as the most professional wrestling gods were, it was a hell of a mouthful.
Oh yeah. I totally agree with that as well. It was a hell of a mouthful. Okay, so we've already talked about the potential for the TNA TV deal. I've got that on my thing now. But the next thing that pops up, obviously on TNA, is Nic Nemeth is then in the ring to address his Earth earth-shattering TNA debut this past Saturday on Hard to Kill. Nemeth recalls, that is really hard to say, Nemeth, isn't it? Especially when you've got a lisp like me.
Maclin wants you to start saying Ziggler. That's fine.
Yeah, that's very true.
Anyway, Nemeth recalls his exchange with the new TNA World Champion Moose and declares that he will become TNA World Champion. But Nemeth states that he respects the locker room, and that is why he will not demand the TNA World Championship match without earning it. Steve Maclin then interrupts and calls Nemeth a phony. Maclin claims that Nemeth will suck the blood out of TNA, then leave for somewhere else. Maclin says that nobody is going to remember the name Nic Nemeth, and they're going to ask, all they're going to ask is, whatever happened to Dolph Ziggler? Maclin knocks the microphone out of Nemeth's hand, but Nemeth takes him out with a danger zone. Now, I thought this was quite a cool in-ring moment, to be honest. Maclin was on top form, as we would expect. I'm a huge Maclin mark, so the dude just reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin so much that I just love him. I think he's great. So I think this is great because Maclin for me is just the ultimate kind of heel. And I mean, I know what they're trying to do with him. They're trying to sort of kind of put him in that Sami Callihan, where he's sort of kind of on the knife's edge of sort of kind of being a heel, but also being a face character at the same time. That's kind of what it, that's the way I look at it. It's sort of on the cusp, on the fence of going either way, like Sami was. But I'm a big fan of Maclin, so I'm all for this. I want to see Nic Nemeth versus Steve Maclin at some point in the future. It's not going to happen yet, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. What were your thoughts on this, Craig?
Do you know what? I'm totally with you. I'm an absolute Maclin mark. His whole the Punisher kind of vibe and stuff like that. And when he says references to Stone Cold Steve Austin and Sami Callihan and stuff like that, I'm all with you for it, because I think that his title reign was too short. But I really think that just that promo of what he said to Nic Nemeth, I was just like, I paused it. I was like, what? I rewound it and had to watch it again. I was like, he just went there. And I'm all for it. When he says you're going to come here, get the belt, and you're going to do one, that's we have seen that with other stars naming their names, but I just like the fact that he's called him out. So it's almost like he can't now. And I know that Maclin will make his life hell while he's here, obviously on screen and stuff like that. But I think that we are going to see the best years of Steve Maclin and Nic Nemeth in TNA. That's going to be the best years of their career. I reckon these two will bounce off each other, and we're going to be gifted with it, to be fair.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all the way. Now, moving away from that a little bit, we've got the pre-order of the Hard to Kill DVD is now available on the TNAmerch.com. I keep mentioning that today, so get over there and pre-order it. Hard to Kill is an historic pay-per-view, so you want to make sure that you've got a copy of that. We then go backstage. You've got Gia Miller interviews Jordan Grace after defeating Trinity to become the new Knockouts World Champion at Hard to Kill. Grace says that she was honored to be part of such an historic event when Trinity interrupts and challenges her to a rematch for next week. Grace accepts, and it's on. So that was a good backstage segment. I thought that it flowed really well. So we've got the match set. We know what's to come, which is good. Mira saying, Bison, you're not comparing Maclin to Stone Cold Steve Austin. There will be another Stone Cold. Never. No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's a carbon copy. I'm saying he gives me Stone Cold vibes. And you're right.
Let's shave Maclin's head. Let's shave his head.
Yeah, exactly. Shave his head. Give him a proper goatee. Jobs are good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, he gives me the vibes of a Stone Cold Steve Austin, not he is a carbon copy of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just get that kind of vibe from him.
That's sharp boy.
He's just a complete badass. And really
he's a badass. And that's exactly what Stone Cold was, a complete badass. So, and he opened up the cans of whip ass every day, every week on Raw the can of whip ass was open. So that's what I see. The way Steve Maclin going now. Josh Alexander versus Wil Ospreay 2 was the main event. We're at it now. Incredible match. Both guys gave it their all, with Josh eventually coming out on top, beating the best, as Will likes to say, bruv. And it was an incredible match, just top to bottom, incredible match. What were your thoughts when you saw this match, Steve?
Well, like Will said, he's had the match with Josh before, and he knows what he's going into. But I think they topped their last match. I really do. I think that they took it a step further. They actually had quite a lot more on the outside of the ring, I thought, than the inside, which really showcased the diversity in both men. And yeah, it was one of those where every time you thought that it was getting to that step of the, okay, we're getting to the end, you looked at the clock and you're like, wow, we've still got another 10 minutes of this match left.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the table shot was amazing as well. The table spot was great. What about you, Joe? What did you think on this one?
I love this match.
I mean, when you get Meltzer coming out and looking saying you've already got a match of the year contender, something's gone right.
Yeah, I mean, even Meltzer was like, it's a 5-star match and all that crap. Not that I give a fuck what Meltzer thinks, but the fact that you're getting more and more like so-called news outlets or wrestling kind of outlets or whatever starting to report more and more on TNA in a positive way, then I think that's a good thing. So I'm not going to knock it. I'm going to mock it. All the way. Smash's podcast. J-Bo's in the house. He just wants to remind everyone about the membership of TNA are now live. Just click to the join button on the main TNI YouTube channel page. So go and get doing that, guys. If you want to join the channel, then get involved in all of that. Now, after the match, TNA President Scott DeMore delivers a heartfelt message about the rebirth of TNA Wrestling. DeMore says that TNA Wrestling is back and it's never, ever going away. And then, of course, once that's done, the cheer of the crowd go mad and Impact goes off air. When you saw Scott delivering his, heartfelt promo, it's funny because if Tony Khan was to do that, I'd be just like laughing, crying and laughing all over the place. When Scott does it, you as much as it's kind of a little bit cringeworthy, you believe he means it. Do you know what I mean? What were your thoughts, Craig?
I'm totally with you. Like, Scott's he's such an asset to TNA, and for him to come out and reel off his own personal endeavors with it and stuff like that, and even was it Bruce Pritchard? He damned his comment with when Matey said that we were dead and that. For him to bring up that on such a flagship show, it'd be like, no, we're back. It restores your faith and stuff like that. I know we had the best years of Callis and all his ideas. I will give him credit to that, but I just mean Scott's just we're in safe hands with him, and this man's got a vision and we're on board for it. I just appreciate his words so much. That was one spoiler that I did actually see and watched in advance, because I could see that the guys were sat in the corners. So I thought, I don't know the result of the match, and I'm hoping Scott doesn't say, but obviously Josh, I am a bit I think he's a bit biased towards Josh. I know it's the Canadian thing and stuff like that, but the fact that he gave our bruv, he gave him an oi oi and all that whatnot. I think it was good to see. But I'm a big fan of Scott, and I'm really looking forward to what he's got in store for us.
I honestly believe, and I'm going to say this now, Wil Ospreay didn't sign with TNA because they didn't have a big TV deal. That's what put him off.
I think, to be fair, he took the Tony money, and he's got complete freedom with his contract. So I don't blame him. He probably just went, well, that's more money, so I'll take that. But Mr. Khan, you've got to understand, I'm going to do what I want, bruv. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to stop me.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But guys, before we go on, Now we need you guys to hit that thumbs up button. It's really important. Everyone in the chat, anyone on the replay, just hit that thumbs up button. Make sure that you share the show. Help us move up those rankings. If you feel flush, then don't be afraid to slap us a super sticker or a little tip or anything like that. We do appreciate it. It's all very, very welcome. Helps us continue spending the time and effort creating shows, creating content for you guys. So please feel free to do that. Now let's talk about what we've got coming up this Thursday on an all new TNA wrestling. So we've got Kaz, Shelley and Okada versus the system, Moose, Myers and Edwards. That's going to be a cracker. Obviously, the return of Okada. We don't know how many matches he's done. Maybe, I don't know if that was the only one, but hopefully there'll be a couple more. But I'm looking forward to that. And it's obviously, that they've got to put the system over, I'm assuming. So I'm going to go with that one. We've got the Knockouts World Championship rematch of Jordan Grace versus Trinity. Again, the first one was a banger, so there's no reason why this one ain't going to be a banger, is it, Joe?
No, I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to Trinity's promo to cash in this match was fantastic. But I'm just so looking forward to this. This is going to be real good. It's probably going to be match of the night.
Well, you say that, mate.
Yeah, saying that, but the system and the Motor City Machine Guns on Okada, that is going to be really hard to beat. But
there's going to be a couple of others that could be hard to beat as well, because not only that, we've got Nic Nemeth versus Zachary Wentz. Now, Steve, that's going to be a cracker, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how they build this one up, because it feels like it's come a little out of nowhere, but I am not going to complain, because both these guys, I'm looking forward to seeing how seeing.
Well, you
this
say
match.
it's come out of nowhere. I mean, any match that Nick's going to take is going to be coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He's only just signed.
Nick,
But again, it's one of those.
He's working his way up the ladder, so he's starting. He's starting with guys in the tag division who usually aren't in it.
Sort of feel like working their way up. How does Zachary Wentz? How does he become the first step, kind of thing? That's where that's the interesting sort of thought.
I guess. We've then got Chris Bay versus a returning Kevin Knight. I'm a big Kevin Knight fan.
Yeah.
I like him, but I have been a Chris Bay fan from day one. What are your thoughts on this one, Craig?
I'm on the fence for that one, to be fair. Like I say I'm on the fence. I'd rather Bay win. Like, Bay's just got that whole finesse thing and stuff like that. He has flourished as a character, because if you looked at him on the indies and that before he signed with Impact, he had the basics and stuff like that, but he has hit the ground running with us. And then you've got their links with the Bullet Club and what they've done in Japan and stuff like that. So I want Bay to win, but you can't ignore Kevin Knight, can you?
He's amazing.
He's insane. He's underrated as well, I think.
It's just a shame. I think the trouble is, I think that at the end of the day he's not signed. So the likelihood is
the ultimate finesser, your girl's favorite wrestler, Chris Bay.
I'll repeat that, Chris Bay. Anyway, so we then got Danny Lunar and Jody Threat. Now, the combination that we never thought we needed, but I think you're going to find that these two are a badass together.
Oh, yeah.
Versus MK Ultra, your Bison's favorite tag team, right there. So I think, it's going to be cool. I mean, I'm a Decay mark all day long, but Jesus Christ, MK Ultra, they're mate, come on. You'd have to be insane not to like MK Ultra, wouldn't you?
Oh, very, very insane.
You'd have to be so much wrong with you if you don't like that team. Craig found out how much I like Killer Kelly, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, just a bit.
But so what a fantastic lineup we've got for this Thursday. I think it's great to see Danny Lunar back in there. Obviously, fully signed Knockout now. We know Jody Threat's great. I love Jody. I think she's got a great character. I love the whole sort of kind of punk rocker vibe about her. I think she's cool. Not punk rocker, sorry. We would call it a mod, wouldn't we? I don't know
Yeah,
what they
true.
would call it over there, but we would call it like a mod sort of vibe going on about her. But I think she's really cool. I don't know. I think we've got a hell of a show. We've got a hell of a show lined up. I cannot wait to watch tomorrow night. But guys, I think that's all we've got time for this week. Unfortunately, we're running an hour and 14 minutes now, so we're doing all right on time, but we ain't got much longer. So also though, guys, if you want to support us, TNI UK team, please feel free to super sticker us. Head over to the prowrestlingtees.com/Total Nonstop Impact for some great t-shirts, or even head over to our exclusive Spreadshirt merch store. Links, of course, are all below. Of course, you can now subscribe to the channel here if you want to go and do that for exclusive stuff. Then go and get involved in that as well on the YouTube channel. So there's lots of ways you can support the channel. All TNI shows are available to all of our Listen on the Go fans for audio only. So we've got, via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows, we are there. Where can we find you on the social media, Joe? Obviously, we can't find you in the void, obviously, but where can we find you on this?
I don't think if you follow me on social media, then you voluntarily step into the void. So
okay.
I love your social media, Joe. I love your jokes and stuff like that. Your Facebook makes me smile. I like it.
You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptySpace. Jump onto Facebook or Twitter, look for empty space, hashtag empty space, hashtag into the void. Or if you fancy to take your Facebook and you sense you hashtag Dilly Giggle. But approach with an open mind, you just might keep your sanity.
Okay, Coke. And where can we find you, Craig?
Pretty much just what it says. Where do I point? There. What it says there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically just at the turn of the year, I thought I'd kind of recreate myself and start giving this a go. So Limpstar's basically my DJ alias, but I might as well run with it. To be fair, I can't think of any other good aliases. So you'll find that on
it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
On
play
TikTok,
the gimmick, baby.
on Instagram and that. Yeah.
Exactly. Get it everywhere. Limpster UK everywhere. Yeah. At Limpster UK. Let's get it out. Let's get this DJ signed to an exclusive nightclub near you. He's doing a great job with all that sort of stuff, and of course he's auditioning today as well, but we'll talk about that in a second. But guys, listen, like I said, if you want to support the channel, you've got all those things that you can do, but all TNI shows, as I've said, are available on the go as well. If you're interested in following TNI on the socials, they are available at We Talk Impact on the Twitter or the X, as we talk about. They're on Facebook and Instanet, so they're available at We Talk Impact. All that. Go and like, follow, share, do whatever you need to do with We Talk Impact. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the Bison, you want to follow me, what I'm doing. Don't forget, I'm getting involved in the Bison by Design TikTok now as well with my fitness stuff. Follow me on my journey. Hopefully I'm going to motivate people as well, but at Lord Bison 45 is where you can find me on Twitter. And like I said, at Bison by Design on TikTok. If you want to follow my fitness journey, feel free to go and check that out as well. But guys, listen, please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. Really important. If you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle. Of course, the smash to never miss related content, TNA related content coming out each and every week for the US and UK teams. With all that said, I've been your host Bison, and of course they've been Joker, Steve, and the new boy, the UK Craig. Episode 165 of Impacted. Bye bye.
Take care.
We're Bison! We are Impacted!